Kabukicho, Tokyo's most famous entertainment district. It's loud, bright, and full of contradictions. And in between the host clubs, love hotels, and flashing signs, you might notice them. Quiet, stylish, still. The so-called standing girls. But who are they, and what do they tell us about the reality of being a woman in modern Japan? I made a video about this topic 2 years ago, and it was my most controversial video ever. People told me I was exploitative, even trafficking women. So here's my response. First, I didn't show any faces or identifying information because these women could be in danger. Second, I contacted several women's rights organizations before making the video to ensure I was portraying this issue respectfully and responsibly. And third, I wanted to start a conversation. So what exactly are these women doing? Every night, especially in areas like Kabukicho, young women are seen standing silently on street corners. They don't call out, they don't advertise. But they're waiting. Not for friends, but for clients. Now, these are not official workers in licensed establishments like cabaret clubs or hostess bars. Many are involved in underground or semi-legal forms of sex work, known locally as freeter models or paterns. Some might not see themselves as sex workers at all, but their presence is part of a gray zone economy driven by demand, desperation, and discretion. So why do some girls end up in this life? It's rarely as simple as choice. Many are in their late teens or early 20s. Some are university students. Others are single mothers, runaways, or girls struggling under the weight of debt. On the surface, it seems like a hard life. And yes, it is. But sometimes standing in Kabukicho pays more in one night than a full week at a part-time job. Before I go further, let me explain a bit more about Japan's economy. You may have heard about Japan's shrinking population. The country has been facing low birth rates for decades, and this affects the labor market. There is simply fewer people to fill job positions. This means more opportunities for those who are able to work, right? Well, yes and no. While it's true that some groups are seeing better opportunities, it's mostly well-paid, highly technical positions. For the average person, it's a different story. The government has introduced new policies to encourage companies to hire older workers, so people are living longer, working longer. However, this does not always translate to better treatment or higher wages. Many younger workers are stuck in precarious jobs with little training, few benefits, and low pay. They're often referred to as freeters, which literally translates to free or independent workers. However, the term has a negative connotation in Japan, as it implies that a person has been unemployed for a long time and has given up on finding a real job. Now back to our story. So what's really happening here? Why do so many young women find themselves turning to sex work? The answer is complex, and it goes beyond simple economics. Let me give you an example. In Japan, a woman can take up to 3 years off from work for childbirth and childcare. But once they take this time off, they often struggle to get back into the workforce. Even if they do find a job, they're often relegated to part-time or contract positions with low pay and no benefits. What's worse, they're still expected to maintain a traditional gender role, providing emotional and physical support for their families while also meeting the demands of their job. Another problem is that childcare costs are high in Japan. This makes it difficult for single parents to return to work. Japan also lacks proper support systems for working parents. There is a severe shortage of nurseries, and those that do exist are often prohibitively expensive. This forces many women to choose between their career and their child. Another issue is maternity harassment. Despite laws against it, many companies still discriminate against pregnant employees. This can include forcing them to quit or not offering them promotions or raises. As a result, many women feel pressured to hide their pregnancies or give up their jobs altogether. Then there's the societal pressure to conform. Women in Japan are expected to follow a particular life path. They're supposed to graduate from a good university, find a stable job, marry a nice guy, and have children. Anything else is seen as strange or shameful. This pressure can be intense, and many women feel like they have no choice but to comply. So what is it like to be a woman in Japan? Well, imagine living in a society where you're constantly judged based on your appearance and behavior, where the media portrays an unrealistic standard of beauty and success. Imagine feeling the pressure to conform to traditional gender roles, while also trying to pursue your dreams and ambitions. That's the reality for many women in Japan. They face discrimination, harassment, and violence just because they dare to be different. Yet they continue to push boundaries and challenge stereotypes. Beneath the surface of this quiet, polite country lies a deep sense of dissatisfaction. Beneath the neon lights of Kabukicho, a story unfolds that challenges conventional narratives about Japan's prosperity and women's rights. Here's what I found most shocking. In a country with cutting-edge technology and one of the highest standards of living, women are forced to navigate a labyrinth of social norms and economic disparities. It's a stark reminder that progress isn't always as it seems, and that behind closed doors, realities can be far removed from the polished image projected onto the world stage. These women are not merely statistics or nameless faces. They're individuals with hopes, dreams, and resilience. Their stories deserve to be told, not to sensationalize their struggles, but to amplify their voices and shed light on the challenges they face. It's time to confront uncomfortable truths, dismantle harmful stereotypes, and challenge the status quo. Only then can we truly begin to address the issues that affect millions of women in Japan and around the world. Their presence becomes a potent symbol of what remains unspoken, demanding acknowledgement and urging change. But are these women exploited or empowered? The answer is complex. Some see these women as victims of a system that fails them. Others argue that sex work, even standing work, provides women with agency in a world where other choices are limited. Some girls say they prefer the freedom. No boss, no schedule, no fake smile at a convenience store job. But empowerment without protection is a fragile kind. And in Japan's legal gray areas, that power often comes with deep risk. Their survival depends on staying invisible, blending into the urban landscape like ghosts. They become part of the city's heartbeat without ever being seen. Now, you might be wondering, do any of these women want to speak out? To be honest, most don't. Fear, shame, and loyalty keep them silent. Speaking out could endanger their clients, their colleagues, and themselves. Plus, they might fear being judged by society or blamed for causing problems. So what about the men who frequent these streets? They're the demand side of the equation. The men who seek companionship, maybe just for a night, play a vital role in this story too. They come from various backgrounds, ages, and professions. Some are salarymen seeking a quick escape from the pressures of their job. Others are lonely individuals looking for connection. It's essential to understand that sex work is not just about sex. It's about human interaction, companionship, and emotional intimacy. For some, it's a way to cope with loneliness, escape from reality, or simply fill a void in their lives. As a journalist, I'm often asked, what is the solution to this complex problem? But the truth is, there is no easy answer. It requires a multifaceted approach that addresses the root causes of the issue. Education plays a crucial role in shaping attitudes and promoting respect for women's rights. By investing in education, we can empower future generations to challenge harmful stereotypes and make informed decisions. We must also address the economic disparities that drive women into precarious situations. Providing access to decent work, healthcare, and social services can help alleviate the financial pressures that make sex work seem like the only option. It's important to remember that every woman has a story to tell. Their experiences are shaped by a myriad of factors, including their personal circumstances, societal expectations, and economic realities. Listening to these stories and amplifying their voices are crucial first steps toward creating meaningful change. While change may seem slow and challenging, it's essential to keep pushing forward. By acknowledging the uncomfortable truths, engaging in open and honest conversations, and working together, we can create a better future for women in Japan and around the world. But ultimately, the responsibility to change lies with Japan itself. The government, civil society, and individuals must confront the harsh realities that drive these women to the streets. Only then can they hope to build a society that values and protects its women. So, are we looking away? Or are we finally ready to see? That's it for today. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more deep dives into Japan's hidden stories, the ones that happen when no one's supposed to be watching.